Terry Gannon back with Reggie Rivers in Vesco Field at Mile High, the new Mile High Stadium, whatever you want to call it. It's a gorgeous, brand new $400 million facility here. And getting set for the rivalry, Sonny Lubick and Colorado State. He's won 5 conference titles in the past 7 seasons, and not much success before he arrived in Fort Collins, Reggie.
There really hasn't been. It went a long, long time before they were able to get any success, but Sonny Lubick brings it to the table, and now they've won the last 2 games in this series. All of the pressure right now is on the University of Colorado. They cannot start this season at 0-2.
Colorado won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so the Rams will receive to open up the ball game. Pat Frome will handle the kicking duties, at least the kickoffs for Colorado. Back deep, Pete Rebstock and Dexter Wynn, 2 very dangerous players, return men for the Rams. Colorado, once they resumed the series in 1983, won 10 of the next 11 games. They dominated throughout, but the Rams have won the last 2. And we're underway here in Denver. Wynn from his own 3-yard line, coming back to the near. Tripped up, a nice tackle made at the 18-yard line. Roderick Sneed tripped him up as he returned it out 15 yards. DJ Bush getting the start here. We talked to him last night. He didn't have any kind of false bravado, any arrogance about him, but he said, you know, I know what I'm going to be under here. I know it's a new stadium. I know that it's a huge game, but I think I'm going to be okay.
And I think what Coach told him is you don't have to go out and be the hero. All you need to do is go out, be solid, don't make mistakes, and that's what he's going to focus on doing today.
They're banged up at the tailback spot. We'll get to that more in just a moment. But here comes Henry Childs, the transfer from Kansas, across the 20 to the 21-yard line. He gets the first carry of the game. And the starting lineups, the offensive line for Colorado State. Showett has had a chronic back injury, and that's the only question mark in that line. Dreyer, the only man who did not start last season. It's an experienced offensive line. Dreesen, they love him as a young kid. Ochoa, one of the best tight ends around. Rebstock, the big play man. And Dallas Davis, after being out last year, only played 2 games because of the injury. He is back, and he's awfully fast. Play action on second down out to Dreesen, and he drops it. So Joel Dreesen, the redshirt freshman from Fort Morgan, Colorado. The coaches love him, but he drops his first pass. Defense for Colorado, Tyler Brayton, Justin Bannon, probably the best, if not defensive lineman, maybe the best defensive player for the Buffs. Tufts, Sykes, and Walruse. Jay-Sean Sykes had the great sophomore year. Not a great junior year, but had a terrific game last week. Strickland, Robinson, Lewis, and Jackson. Michael Lewis awfully good at the strong safety. 3rd and 9 now in the opening drive for Colorado State. And there's contact. That was Bannon. Just as we sing his praises, he comes across and makes contact.
Well, you know, you get to the first kind of little minor pressure situation in the game. A 3rd down there.
Prior to the snap, offside, on the defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Steve Juszczyk and his crew working this game. Steve from Broomfield, Colorado, not far from Denver.
Yeah, Colorado's thinking they can go 3 and out here, so he gets a little bit anxious. They still have an opportunity. This would be a big, big play for Colorado if they can stop him here.
So 3rd and 4. Childs the lone setback. Straight drop. He almost slipped, and this one picked off. Strickland has it. He's going to get to the end zone. Donald Strickland with the interception, bringing it back 30 yards. The nightmare scenario that DJ Bush must have thought about once or twice making that first start, and certainly Sonny Lubick thought about it.
And here we go. You know, the one thing that Colorado absolutely needed, the one thing CSU absolutely did not, Colorado needed to make a big play defensively. They had to get on the board first, and they do it now. You know, Dallas Davis is the intended receiver. Strickland steps in front of it. A great play by Colorado. We'll see how CSU responds.
Jeremy Flores on for the extra point. It's up and it is good. So Gary Barnett's squad has had a history of tough starts, of not starting well, having to come from behind. They get off to the great start with the interception And Strickland, the junior from San Francisco, bringing it back 30 yards for the score.
They get the first touchdown, which they absolutely needed. Now, Colorado State is going to be in the position of having to decide, do we stick with DJ Bush no matter what happens, or do we get Bradley Van Pelt on the field? And I think they stick with him right now. They have to give him a chance. Now you look at this play again. It's just a quick out pattern on the right-hand side of the screen. Bush drops back. He throws it. It's underthrown a little bit. That gives the defender a chance to step in front of it and take it the distance. No one's going to stop him after that. And I know for DJ Bush's standpoint, he wants to come out and he wants to start things well. He's been fighting this quarterback battle all camp long. And now to come out and have that be the second pass that he throws in the game, I think it's tough for him.
And what must be going through his mind right now as you look at Bradley Van Pelt, the transfer, after all he's been through in camp and winning that position on the first series to throw the interception. And not only that, to have it brought back for a touchdown. And Van Pelt on the sideline thinking, you know, maybe it wasn't bad in camp losing that spot. I might get a chance here.
What do you do as the coach? Do you let the guy stay in and fight through adversity? Or do you say, hey, we're going to give our other guy a shot?
Well, Ripstock and Wynn back deep as they were just a moment ago. And Reggie, we'll find out in just a moment what Sonny Lubick decides. You got to believe that for the sake of his confidence, you bring him back in.
Yes, I think you bring him back in at least one series. He settles down. He does good in this next series. He'll be fine.
Rome's kick this time sailing out of the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. And DJ Bush will get another shot at this Colorado defense.
But what an open, Colorado starts the other way last time. When we talked to these coaches for Colorado, they said they really want to be balanced offensively, 50-50. All that gets thrown out the window when you get behind because you have to start passing a lot. Really important for the defense to come out, set the tone early, get the first score on the board, and get Colorado in the position where they can kind of control things a little bit.
Childs, the lone setback now as the Rams start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Long count, going to hand it off to Childs. Fighting his way ahead for maybe 3. Henry Childs, the junior from Shawnee Mission, Kansas. Transfer from Kansas. A look at our Pacific Life game summary right now.
The first thing is that Bush, for CSU, they need to win the turnover battle. They might be tough with a new quarterback, new running back, as we've already seen, but they have to have fewer than CU. Second one, Bush be solid. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but try to be consistent, not make mistakes, as we've already seen, and rush for 75+. They have to get some running game going today.
Rebstock and Hills at the near sideline. 2nd and 6. Dreesen in motion. Childs straight up the middle, had a hole initially, but that closed quickly. Across the 25 to the 26. Matt McChesney was in on the stop along with Aaron Killian. Back up outside linebacker. So it'll bring up 3rd and a long 3. And we just have gotten word that Ja'Shawn Sykes, the inside linebacker for Colorado, is on the sideline. They're checking out his ankle. He got banged up on that previous series, excuse me. 3rd and 3. Play action. Bush throws. Got Dreesen, his tight end, across the 30. Close to a first down, but what a tackle by Michael Lewis. And this is going to be close.
It looks from here as if they got the first down. And I was interested in that series of plays right there. If I was Coach Lubick, I might have tried to get him a throw on 1st or 2nd down rather than waiting until 3rd down and have his next throw after the interception be a high pressure one. But Bush responds well to that and gets the first down.
Good high percentage play, though.
Yes, it is.
The tight end across. They did get the first down. Joey Kapari in motion. Henry Childs, the carry. Good yardage, fighting his way up to the 37-yard line. And don't forget, September 10th, the regular season premiere of Monday Night Football, and it's right here at Invesco Field. The Giants taking on the Broncos, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC. What do you think about the Broncos? Had the preseason game last night right here?
They looked pretty good last night. Terrell Davis especially looked good. It's good to see him back and healthy.
Yeah, the questions at running back, who's going to play, who's not going to play, maybe those answered last night here. 2nd and 4 now for the Rams. Straight drop, plenty of time, and the underthrew Jose Ochoa, his big tight end. Corey Masoni on the coverage. Ochoa, one of the best around, this senior out of Silmar, California. 22 catches last year. First team all conference. Look at his numbers from a year ago.
I wonder if we're going to see Pete Rebstock on this one. We have a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 situation. Pete Rebstock is the go-to guy. You wonder if he's going to be the one who gets it on this play.
3rd and a long 4, they're going to call it. There's Rebstock in motion. Under pressure is Bush, and overthrows Childs out of the backfield. Masoni was in there in the backfield to pressure DJ Bush.
That's one of the things that CU said they were going to do. CU said coming into this game, they don't bring a lot of pressure, but when they do, they want to make it on 3rd down plays. Mazzoni coming in from the left-hand side, putting some pressure on, making Bush a little bit uncomfortable, so he makes the overthrow, and they don't get the 1st down.
And who knows, he may have been thrown to Rebstock that time. He was right in back of him, but either way, he was underthrown or overthrown. Cedric Cormier, Roman Holloway back deep, and they are awfully dangerous. Hollowell with the 77-yard return last week against Fresno State, and he just did get that one off. Takes a Colorado bounce and is going to be down out near the 25-yard line. A punt of 38 yards, no return. The Buffs take over. Sophomore Craig Oaks at the helm as Colorado takes over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The numbers last week saw them there against Fresno State, but the critical turnover late. The give to Chris Brown on 1st down out across the 25 to the 28-yard line. Brown, the sophomore out of Naperville, Illinois, getting the start because Marcus Houston is out with the injury. And the starting lineups for Colorado. An experienced offensive line and very quick. Andre Girard, no doubt about it. He will play on Sunday afternoons in the NFL. And the backs and receivers, Graham, one of the go-to guys at the tight end spot. And, of course, John Minardi, the guy they go to in critical situations. Brown, a big hole up the middle this time. Out to the 38 and a 1st down. Good block by Justin Bates, the left offensive tackle. A gain of 10. Defense for Colorado State, very good at the ends. Peter Hogan, Jeff Grau, perhaps the best defensive player on this squad. Heald gets the start at the outside linebacker spot along with Vickers and Eric Pauley. And the Gallimores, the identical twins at the quarterback and free safety, Sprague and Dexter Wynn, rounding out that secondary. 1st and 10 for the Buffs. Brown along the right side, and this is exactly what Gary Barnett wanted to do, to open up perhaps with a lead and be able to run the football, Reggie. It's
very easy to be committed to running the ball when you have a lead, even if it's only a 7-point lead early in the 1st quarter. But that's what Gary Barnett wanted to do. They want to be balanced 50-50 at the end of the game, but getting the lead gives them a chance to control the clock a little bit, control the pace of the game.
Gary Barnett's offense last week only 66 yards rushing, but of course much of that because they were having to come from behind. Over the middle, complete, got another 1st down for the Buffalo. The big tight end, Daniel Graham, with the catch. 33 catches a year ago for Graham.
A lot of people compare him to Shannon Sharp in the speed that he has, the catching ability, the blocking ability. He could have declared himself eligible for the draft this year, decided to come back and play his senior season at CU. And now CSU is in the position that they have to stop this drive. Can't let CU march it down the field, have to get the momentum back.
Gain of 7, they move the chains after that. Craig Oaks settling in. Purify in, gets the carry, and down to the 40-yard line. He's near another 1st down. So you've got Chris Brown getting the start, but Bobby Purify, the sophomore of Colorado Springs, another man who will fill that spot at the tailback position for Colorado today.
Watch the blocking here on the left-hand side of your screen, how the guys just get faced up, squared up, boom, knock him out, and then he breaks a tackle, which is a good job on his part. You expect a running back to break one, but just nice movement all around by the offensive line and the whole team on Colorado's side.
Marcus Houston out with a groin injury. They did an MRI earlier this week, and he does have a torn upper thigh muscle. Here's Oaks to throw on 1st down. complete inside the 35 to the 34, and he's got Derek McCoy, the sophomore out of Thornton, Colorado.
CSU has got to find a way to do one thing right now. They've got to stop one play, whether it's one incomplete pass, whether it's one tackle for no gain, something. Right now, CSU has not had a negative play.
Gain of 6. McCoy with the catch as you look at some of the scores from around the country. But how impressive has this offense been so far in this first drive? Chris Brown now in at the tailback spot. He'll get the carry straight ahead and powers his way down to the 30, close to another first down.
Now, for all the talk that we've had this week about how this series has changed, this is the 73rd meeting of these two teams. Colorado has won 53 of them. CSU won the last 2. This game, the way it's setting up right here, looks like the traditional matchup between CU and CSU.
Well, if you go around the country, as much as Sonny Lubick has changed things for Colorado State as the 3rd and 1 comes up right now, I mean, Colorado plays in the Big 12, and your conference gets your respect out straight ahead for the first down across the 30, and they will move the chains once again. Yes. But to go back to that a moment, recruiting always comes up in a rivalry like this, Reggie, in-state recruiting, and you got to believe even with the success Colorado State has had, Colorado doesn't take a back seat to anybody in this state recruiting-wise.
Yeah, Colorado is always going to be perceived as the big school where they get the best players and they have the best coaches, they have the best facilities, best of everything. CSU has changed that a little bit in the past few years.
Play action, Oaks to throw. He's got Brandon Drum, his fullback, out of the backfield. And knocked out of bounds inside the 25 by Dexter Wynn.
Now look at how the two schools have done in the state of Colorado. You look at the left-hand column, CSU always consistent, 49, 47, 47. That's the number of players they have on their roster from Colorado. CSU, when Barnett got here in 2000, or 99 rather, he started recruiting more heavily in the state. Now they have 43 guys from the state here.
Yeah, they had gone national in terms of their recruiting, and Barry Barnett came in and said, I want to focus on the kids in Colorado and then go elsewhere. Chris Brown breaks one tackle and may have another first down. He should have. Boy, this ground game for Colorado has been extremely impressive so far. A gain of 8 for Brown.
Fresno State last week was able to shut down Colorado's ground game early, which then the turnovers got them behind. They had to pass it, so we didn't really get a chance to look at Colorado's ground game. They obviously are very talented up front, doing a good job of moving it, and CSU right now desperately needs to make a play defensively.
Bobby Purify in for Chris Brown, who was shaken up on that last play. 1st and 10, John Minardi in motion. Purify, a huge hole. The cutback, he's still up. Bobby Purify to the near sideline, to the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado. And there's a flag down in the end zone, but it came in late.
Right now, CSU is just not able to compete with the up-front blocking. Look at the blocking and how everybody gets cleared out of the way. Purify comes through, makes a good move on the one guy, breaks one tackle, which is, as I said, you expect a running back to do that, breaks another one there, and then outruns everyone to the end zone. CSU right now is not doing anything to slow down this CU attack.
The touchdown stands. 15-yard penalty on sportsmanlike conduct, excessive celebration, 15 on the extra point.
Well, and the average Buff fan is saying, cut us some slack here. We've been struggling. We were 3-8 last year. We lost the first week. Let us celebrate a little bit here.
Exactly.
So Jeremy Flores, he'll be backed up to the 25-yard line. 35 yards on this extra point. No problem. The interception return and the 18-yard run by Bobby Purify. The Buffs are rolling early.
Another look at the touchdown play. Purify just doesn't get touched by anybody coming through the line, then breaks the one tackle that he has to and outruns everyone to the end zone. Right now, Colorado is untouchable by CSU. They are just doing everything right. CSU has not yet done anything right.
You know, emotion plays such a large role, especially in college football, and the early Well, they were down early against Fresno State last week. As you look at Rebstock and Wynn back deep to receive this kickoff. And I think emotionally they were just drained at some point. Man, a nice comeback, almost won, but then Jay-Sean Sykes called a players-only meeting early in the week and said, guys, we cannot let this happen again. And Gary Barnett said, we can't let Fresno State beat us twice. And emotionally, Colorado much better off early on in this one. Brohm's kick sails out of the end zone. Once again, they'll bring it out to the 20. The ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, investments. Discover the power of Pacific Life. And Circuit City, we know how you feel. That's why we're here. We're with you.
Well, Jay-Sean Sykes is back on the field. He was off for a little while. Looked like he had an ankle injury, but now he's back on the field.
Sykes with 13 tackles last week and a sack against Fresno State. Bush to throw. Through a crowd and through the hands of Jose Ochoa, his tight end. We go to Times Square Stadium and check in right now with John Saunders.
Terry with the Coors Light update. Miami of Ohio at Michigan. John Navarre hooks up with Marquise Walker. 39 yards downfield. A great catch. Brings it down to the 2. 3 plays later, they go in to score 7-0 Wolverines. Terry.
All right, John, thank you. John and Terry will keep us updated throughout the day from New York on the action in college football. 2nd and 10. Omri Childs trying to get outside, but run out of bounds by Jay-Sean Sykes. You got to look at the speed of the middle linebacker.
And doesn't look like he's slowed down by that ankle at all. You know, he had a phenomenal game last week in the loss. And here's another guy who could have declared himself eligible for the draft, came back for this season. He has incredible speed. You watch him as he runs around the field. He sees the play and just, boom, takes off and sprints toward it, and you're not going to outrun him to the outside. Makes the play on the sideline, and he'll make a lot of plays today.
Gary Barnett called it his best game as a Colorado Buffalo last week against Fresno State. The defensive coordinators didn't want to go that far. They think he's going to be so good, they don't want to limit him. Bush to throw to the near sideline. Almost picked off. Great coverage. Joey Kapari, the intended receiver, but it was broken up nicely by Roderick Sneed. Invesco Field at Mile High here in Denver, a gorgeous Labor Day weekend. Terry Gannon along with Reggie Rivers, 14-0 Colorado. It has been all Buffs so far. The 30-yard interception and return early in the game by Donald Strickland got them going, and then Bobby Purify an 18-yard run, and that's where we are right now.
And Colorado State's in the difficult position of deciding what they want to do at quarterback. Do they stick with Bush, or do they bring in Van Pelt? The bad news is that they're down by 14. They need to pass it a lot. Van Pelt is more of a running quarterback.
Nice play by Joey Huber, the punter, to get that one off, and the fair catch at the 33. 42-yard punt, no return. Colorado takes over when we come back. 14-0 Colorado right now over Colorado State in the Rocky Mountain Showdown, the 73rd meeting between these two teams. Sonny Lubig's team needing to get something going, especially right now on defense, getting a stop. Don't forget tonight, wrap up our college football triple header. Number 23 Wisconsin taking on number 7 Oregon right here on ABC Sports, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And Joey Harrington, the billboard in Manhattan, doing its job. Everyone talking about Joey Harrington from Oregon for the Heisman. 1st and 10 for Colorado. Chris Brown on the carry to the near side. A couple of tough yards up to the 34. Maybe the 35. Brown, the sophomore out of Naperville, very physical runner. Of course, signed with Northwestern, came over with Gary Barnett to Boulder.
It's still very early in this game, but this really is a critical drive for CSU. And I think they need to take it in inches. If they can find a way to stop CSU or CU on one play, then maybe try to stop them on 2 plays. But they've got to slow him down a little bit.
Oaks all alone, and down he goes, and there's the one play you talked about. Patrick Goodpaster, the redshirt freshman out of Harbor City, California, got there first.
And that's what they need. They need something to rally around, something to say that, hey, we're doing a good job. They come on the rush here. You got 3 guys beating their blockers at the point of attack to get in to put pressure on Oaks, and he has no time to do anything. They get the sack. Now they have something to grab onto and say, okay, we can make some plays against Colorado. Let's see if we can make another one.
Goodpaster's had the Achilles problem the last week or so. Was out a couple of practices. Some concern as to whether he could go. But a loss of 8 with that sack. It brings up 3rd and 16. Cortland Johnson in at tailback. He gets the catch out of the backfield. Hit hard at the 33. Back to about the original line of scrimmage. Cortland Johnson, the senior out of St. Louis, who's had an ankle sprain, and he was questionable coming in.
You know, it's interesting, the dynamics of this game and the way it starts out. Both teams undoubtedly believe a little bit of the hype about this game. CSU probably believes a little bit that they're not well matched against CU. CU probably believes a little bit that they're better than CSU. So when the game starts off this way, they both start believing that a little bit, and it's easy for CSU to go in the tank. Now we got a fake. Whoa. Oh, my.
And go figure that one, Reggie.
My, that could become a crucial mistake if CSU can convert.
What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I think in some ways, it's a smart play because what they had was an uncovered guy down at the bottom of the field. The punt returners, or the punters saw it. They make a call at the line. They try to throw it out to the guy, but they throw it incomplete.
You know what?
Yeah, no, he's throwing it to number 80, and the defender number 2 right there, McCoy, or Woods, who's running over, he was the guy who's coming out to cover him.
You know, that absolutely could be the break that they were looking for, the Rams, and Childs straight up the middle with some power running. The ball's loose, but he was down.
And I think what we know about that punt, it probably wasn't a play called by the coach on the sideline. It's one of those automatics. If you ever have a wide receiver who is just flat uncovered, no matter what the situation, you get the ball, you throw it to him. But in that case, you have an incomplete pass and turn it over in a bad situation.
And you've got to know situation at that point too, time and clock and what the game has been to that point. 14-0. You're Colorado. You've been moving the football. You got to punt it away, fine. But now just a huge break for Colorado State. Henry Childs up the middle, inside the 25, and close to a first down. He should have it.
So Colorado State now have the big sack that sets this up. 2 plays later, they force them to punt. They get the mistake that CU makes, and now they have a chance to put points on the board and make it 14-7 like none of this other stuff ever happened.
Rebstock back in for Chris Pittman at the wideout spot. Sonny Lubick has been a part of this rivalry for a long time. 9 years as head coach, also as an assistant coach. Childs bouncing outside. He's got it hole. Henry Childs inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, and flags at the end of the play. Maybe a face mask. Got a big block from Joel Dreesen, his tight end.
This could be shaping up into the game that we thought it was going to be. And all it takes, I mean, momentum is so powerful in football. For CU early, the momentum was the interception. For CSU, the failed fake punt.
Incidental face mask on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Let's look at the play. Right at the end of the play, you'll see a guy come in and grab the face mask and hold on to it. Robinson grabbed it. You can grab onto the face mask. You have to try to let go of it as soon as you can. It's inadvertent, it looks like.
So it's 1st and goal from the 3. Bush under center. Rolling out to Dreesen for the touchdown. Joel Dreesen, the redshirt freshman who dropped the pass early in the game, gets to the end zone.
And Joel Dreesen doubles up. He had a great block on the play right before that. Now catches the pass to score the touchdown. Look at him, it's just a bootleg. He's going to fake it to the the running back. Coming to the left, rolls back out to the right. Nobody's covering Dreesen.
The senior out of Burlington, Colorado, on for the extra point. Splits the uprights. Whether it was called from the sideline or not, guess who's going to get blamed for the fake punt?
Of course, Barnett will get blamed for it. I have a feeling that this one was just an on-the-field decision, that you have a receiver that's uncovered, you throw the ball to him.
Turned out to be a poor one.
Well, I'm sure that if Barnett was probably on the sideline screaming, "Don't throw it." And it's one of those that, though, if you complete it and the guy runs and gets the first down, then of course it's huge. It's a smart play. Everyone wonders. Let's take one more look at that fake kick. So what they have, well, we can't see the receiver outside, but he's just uncovered. There's no one there. You see the defender running over at the last minute to get out to him. And McCoy is saying, if you could have just gotten the ball to me, I would have been gone.
Yeah, they snapped to the up man, and the throw was just not even close to being on the mark. But in your own territory, after you've dominated the game to that point, your defense has been good. You've got a first-time starter at quarterback on the other side. All of those factors going in. Guess what?
And plus, you're putting the ball into the hand of your up back. It's not like you have a quarterback who's back there who he sees an open receiver, he hits him. This is the up back. He doesn't throw the ball a whole lot. He's all of a sudden going, oh my gosh, there's an open guy. I'm supposed to get the ball and throw it to him. And it just doesn't work out. But a big break for CSU.
Jeff Babcock, the redshirt freshman out of Tampa, going to kick it deep to Roman Hollowell and Clyde Sorrell. Not going to give Hollowell a chance to return this one. And they'll bring it out to the 20 for the Buffs and their next series. You knew this would be a good one. Last couple of years, at least, it turned out to be. Last year's edition, Colorado in many ways dominated the football game, which was right next door at the old Mile High. But 4 big plays, that's what won it for Colorado State. And the Colorado coaches all week have talked about the fact that they cannot give up the big play. Well, they created a big play with the fake punt there a moment ago. Brown across the 20 out to the 22. A rivalry that has grown in stature and certainly in intensity in the last couple of years, and that is of course because of the success that Colorado State has had. If Colorado still dominated, yeah, probably be in the same situation.
Yeah, there might be 20,000 people here instead of 70-some-odd thousand.
Oaks 4 for 4 for 25 yards so far. They've kept it on the ground for the most part. Rams showing blitz. They pick it up out to McCoy, and it's underthrown. And we mentioned Sonny Lubick has been a part of this rivalry for a long time. We asked him to describe the transformation, what this rivalry has become in his mind.
I remember our first game that we played in Boulder. The score was 21-0, and I looked at the clock, and there were still 7 minutes left in the first quarter. And I'm thinking 21, that's 84 plus. You know, as far as I could figure, I was hanging on. But it seemed like ever since that ball game, we went and played them a couple other times after that, played some very close games, and especially having won the last 2, the preparation was, you know, yeah, I think we can do this and we'll do that. Now our team we're getting a little pressure on us, kind of like we're expected to win.
On 3rd and 8, Minardi with a catch over the middle, but he's not going to get enough for the first down. David Vickers, the middle linebacker, hit him as soon as he caught it.
The momentum keeps shifting back and forth in this game. Colorado State able to come out, push Colorado 3 and out. So now they got to bring on their punt team again. Maybe they're going with the same strategy, leaving one of the receivers uncovered. Yeah. Maybe they'll try to throw the pass again.
Dallas Davis back deep at his own 25. A dangerous return man. He missed most of last year with the injury. Medical red shirt. End over end punt. Davis with a move. He gets outside and he is called down at the 28. The ball is loose, and we'll wait and sort this out. An official threw his hanky at the 28. There's also a penalty marker.
I think he threw the beanbag down to show that's where the ball came out. It looked to me like his knee touched the ground and he was down, but the officials didn't blow the whistle and say that he was down.
Yeah, it appeared to me that he was down.
Look where there's...
You got a beanbag and a penalty marker right next to each other.
It appears they're going to spot the ball where the second guy picked it up and ended up with it.
The hold against Colorado State. 49-yard punt, 10-yard return.
Illegal block in the back on receiving team. 10-yard penalty. On the spot of the foul, first down.
See if we can figure this out.
And watch as he catches this ball, and he does a good job of making the very first guy miss. And then fighting, well, the beanbag goes down where he first caught the ball, but now, as he boom, he's down right there. Now another beanbag is going to come into the picture. Well, we don't see it.
Yeah, another one, trust him.
Yeah, right there. There's the other beanbag. And so now they were going to spot the ball. It appeared where now this guy went down near the sideline.
Beanbags, flags, everyone on the field. In the end, it's 1st and 10 at the 13 for Colorado State. Bush still in the game to give the Childs. Nothing doing. Straight up the middle. Joey Johnson, backup middle linebacker, in on the spot. And Johnson, a guy who really had a good game a week ago. Had 8 tackles against Fresno State. Manning also in on that stop. Pretty good twosome at that linebacker spot, though, for Gary Barnett with Ja'Shawn Sykes, who they are now moving up to the edge at times, too. Moving them up to the line. 2nd and 8. Bush to throw. Rebstock with the catch at the 25-yard line. Nice catch.
This is exactly the sort of play that the Colorado State coaches say separates DJ Bush from Bradley Van Pelt. They're both good quarterbacks. Both do a very good job of delivering the ball, but Bush is more the drop back delivery. Watch Rebstock as he runs just a basic hook here. Settles down, ball's low and away from the defender. Very good pass.
Rebstock, the senior of Inglewood, Colorado, the 2-year starter. Childs, the carries, popped. As soon as he crosses the line of scrimmage, Justin Bannon hit him hard.
Now, when we talked to Sonny Lubick yesterday, the one thing he emphasized was, if we can run the ball, we'll be okay. It was really, that was his sole focus. Well, so far, they really haven't had any success at running the ball.
Final seconds ticking off the clock here in the first quarter. Sonny Lubick's club coming back with that touchdown to make it a 14-7 game here in Denver. We'll continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. About to start the second quarter here at Invesco Field at Mile High in Denver. Terry Gannon along with Reggie Rivers. 14-7 Colorado. DJ Bush, the sophomore, getting his first start at the helm for Sonny Lubick and the Rams. Some struggles early on, but then the fake punt, the turnover. The Rams put 7 on the board. They're right back in this thing. 2nd and 10 at the 26 coming up for Colorado State.
Watch Sykes with his hand down on the right-hand side of the screen.
Colorado shows blitz. They bring it, and Rebstock can't hold on. It wasn't a great pass from DJ Bush through the hands of Pete Rebstock.
That ball looked almost like it might have been just barely tipped at the line, because it kind of had a weird trajectory as it came out. Got a little bit of pressure on him, did CSU, and was able to force him to make a bad pass. So now they have 3rd and 10, which is not a situation you want to be in as an offense.
Numbers on Rebstock last year. Eric Hill, number 85, now in at the wideout spot. Bush just 3 of 10 for 19 yards, and that interception returned for a touchdown. Rebstock's got it, though, at midfield. To the 49 of Colorado. Pete Rebstock with the catch.
Rebstock is their go-to guy. Last year had 46 catches, and you watch him on this route here. It is really nothing fancy, just kind of a straight, deep slant route, or a post route almost. Just a nice throw and catch. And you watch Bush sitting back there. Has got great protection, delivers the ball well, a little bit behind him, but a good delivery.
I bet you the coaches did that once or twice in camp, no doubt. So 1st and 10, just outside the 49. Bush under pressure and more. He goes down at the 39-yard line. Sean Tufts with the sack, and let's go back to New York and join John Saunders.
Well, Terry, in a game that looks like the orange and white game, Syracuse at Tennessee. Casey Clausen going deep, 37 yards to Dante Stallworth for the touchdown. That's the first play from scrimmage. Tennessee jumps in front, 7-0. Terry.
All right, John, so the Vols not wasting any time. Loss of 11 on that sack, so it's 2nd and 21. Bush never got the exchange.
It's one of the rare times that the center jumps off sides. When the center snaps the ball and everybody else is sitting there, usually
you know he had the wrong snap.
Watch the center, he's gone. He's like, hey, come on, let's go. Let's get this show on the road.
Mark Dreyer, the sophomore out of Brighton, Colorado.
Sometimes it happens the other way, where everybody jumps offside except for the center. He's still sitting there with the ball.
Those poor linemen, the only time we really talk about them, say their names, is when something like that happens.
That's true. Hey, but Dryer's got the same name as ice cream. He can't be all bad, right?
3rd and 23. Childs alone, set back. Straight drop, under pressure now over the middle. Repstock with a dive. Did he hang on? Yeah. Still short of the first down, but what a catch by Pete Repstock.
Great catch. And, you know, it's an interesting, you know, in an offense, you don't have a whole lot of plays that are designed to get you 23 yards on 3rd down. And I found it interesting. CU came with a blitz on that one. You would think you'd play off. They're not going to get 23 yards anyway, but they come with a blitz, and it works out for CU in this case.
So 5 completions for Bush so far, 3 of those to Pete Repstock. Joey Huber on to punt. Roman Hollowell back at his own 10-yard line. Averaged almost 25 yards a return last week against Fresno State. Not going to have a chance to get to this one, at least not without a fair catch. The short punt up at the 16-yard line. Only a 29-yard punt, no return. The Buffs take over. Back in Denver, a few clouds rolling in here on what's been a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Next week here on ABC Sports, Carolina and Texas. Good way to get things underway. Michigan and Washington, the second game in the tripleheader, and then the Irish taking on Nebraska. Had a great game last year in South Bend. Should be another good one this time around. Next week here on ABC Sports. Oakes throws out into the flats, complete across the 20 to the 21. John Minardi, who's been kind of quiet so far, but the senior out of Laguna Niguel, California, with a catch.
Watch Minardi on this play. He just runs an out route and gets out of bounds, gets about 5 yards on the catch. And, you know, it's interesting. They gained about 5 on this play. Their first drive, they went 80 yards for a touchdown. Their next 2 drives combined for a total of 5 yards.
Minardi, the second leading receiver last year. Second down, give to the fullback Brandon Drum, who does not get a lot of carries. Junior out of Anchorage, Alaska. Ahead for maybe a couple. I know it's early, but critical play coming up for Colorado State here defensively. They can get a stop, get the ball back on 3rd and 2. Cormier in motion. Oakes the short drop out to Cormier. Going to get ahead to the 31-yard line. He's got a first down for Colorado.
Colorado State did something there they don't ordinarily do. Normally, they
got to be a flag in there somewhere, Reg.
Well,
I guess they're not going to throw one, but a little extracurricular on the sidelines.
A little conversation. They're all English majors in school. They like the language. Ordinarily, Colorado State goes with what's called a zone blitz, where they bring an extra rusher, but they play zone coverage behind it. That time, they came with a man blitz, where they were blitzing, playing man coverage. Didn't work out for him because the guy who was covering Minardi man there wasn't keeping up.
Look at the numbers. Almost 100 total yards so far for the Buffs. Bobby Purify, who had the touchdown early. Another big gain. He's got a first down for Colorado out to the 44-yard line. Aaron Sprague made the stop.
Look at Purify and the hole that he's got to run through. I mean, this offensive line is just huge. I mean, nobody is touching him until he's 8 or 10 yards from the line of scrimmage.
It's the hole he had on his touchdown run, too. Made one man miss. That was it. The line did the rest. 1st and 10 at the 44. Surefire looking for that hole. Not going to find it this time. He's going to lose one. Now time for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
There you go. Colorado State has won 5 conference titles in the last 7 years. Which school has won more conference titles during that same span?
Could it be Southwest Texas State, my alma mater?
Well, no.
Oh.
That's an emphatic no.
I'm not sure we've won 5 games in the past 7 years.
You're the man around town here, though. I'll tell you what. Here in Denver, best parking spot that I have gotten in years at a college football game, driving up with you. Quick out, nice catch. The one-handed catch initially by John Minardi up to midfield.
That's a nice one as a receiver. The ball's coming in. You say, should I catch it with 2 or should I catch it with 1? This is definitely a one-handed ball. Minardi, again, he's the leading receiver for this team. Probably a guy who will be playing on Sundays next year and makes a great grab there.
3rd catch of the afternoon for John Minardi. 6'2", 195 pounds. Pretty good size. And Oaks starting to get his rhythm. Cortland Johnson, number 27, now in at tailback. Caught by Cormier inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Great throw, heck of a catch.
It's a great throw to Cormier. And you watch Cormier at the top. Here's a guy who came out of high school. He was the #1 rated receiver in the nation, despite the fact that he'd never played receiver. He was a quarterback in high school. Justin Gallimore on the coverage on the side. Just a kind of a deep slant right, a deep in. Nice job of adjusting to the ball and making the catch.
Never know how you're going to come back from an ACL tear. Cormier had the great freshman year, but then the devastating injury, and coming back awfully strong. 1st down. Head to the 35, Cortland Johnson. Gain of about 3. Better than 76,000 here at Invesco Field at Mile High as we are in the 2nd quarter. Colorado State and Colorado. The Buffs with the early lead, and they have a 14-7 advantage at this point. Terry Gannon along with Reggie Rivers here. And that number 76, 125, unofficially right now. We'll get the official count a little bit later, but would be the largest crowd ever to watch a college football game in the state of Colorado. Nothing doing this time in the backfield for Johnson. Adam Wade, the outside linebacker, tripped him up and held on to him.
Adam Wade comes on the blitz from the left-hand side of the offense and just comes through untouched. Good speed coming in and almost takes the handoff. He could have gotten there a little bit earlier. Makes the tackle behind line. On those attendance numbers, do you and I count as spectators in the attendance?
We are not paying customers, I don't, unless you paid to get in. I'm not sure, but
They didn't charge you?
Saw the numbers on Oaks. Awfully good so far. In fact, great. Over the middle, got his tight end. Look at him go. Carrying defenders.
Shades of Mark Bavaro. We got a flag on the play as well. Defensive backs hate tight ends who can actually run with the ball after they finish with it.
Daniel Graham's certainly one of them.
He certainly can. Most tight ends, after they make a catch, if you go by and you run past them close.
Incidental face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty. From the end of the run, 1st down.
You run past them close, they're going to fall down. Running with the ball is not their specialty. Daniel Graham gets the ball. He's fighting. Finally, the face mask at the end. Yeah, sometimes that's, I don't know,
it's certainly incidental,
one,
and
but
that's what they call it.
But they got to call it for the safety of the players.
Colorado State, the least penalized team in the country last year. Purify another big hole inside the 10 down to the 6.
I don't know what Purify did for these offensive linemen, but they have a commitment to say you are not going to be touched. Look at the hole that these guys create for him. Holes are not this big in real life. This is incredible. I mean, not to take anything away from Bobby Purify, because he's doing a good job of running the ball, but that offensive line is really moving the line.
Gain of 15 for Purify. It's 1st and goal. They'll place it down outside the 6 at the 7-yard line. Cormier in motion. Drum the up back. Hit as he crosses the line of scrimmage, going nowhere. Eric Pauly, number 33, the outside linebacker from Conway Springs, Kansas.
Hey, we cannot not mention that Drum just got a carry there. He doesn't get many of them. When he went to high school up in Alaska, he rushed the ball a lot. And since he's been here in Colorado, he hasn't carried the ball many times. So every time he gets it, we have to take a moment and say, hey, props to Drum.
2nd carry, got one earlier in the game. Celebrated high school recruit out of Anchorage, Alaska. Got 1 yard on that play. 2nd and goal. Purify cuts it back inside the 5 to the 4. And that's it. David Vickers, number 37, met him there and got some help.
Purify didn't make his dues payment to the line in time for that play. I'm impressed with the way that Colorado's kind of bounced back. They start off with the early momentum, take off with it, lose the momentum, and then they looked a little flat to me when they started off this drive. But maybe that was just they were really focused and really settled, because they're now marching down the field and probably going to punch this thing in.
Double tight end set now. Quinn Sipnewski in, the sophomore out of Granger, Iowa. And they're going to talk things over. Timeout. Come over, talk to Gary Barnett for the moment. 3rd and goal from the 4 when we come back. Colorado up by a touchdown here. 6:15 left until halftime. 3rd and goal from the 4 as a soft rain has started to fall on the field here in Denver. 3rd and goal from the 4. What do you like here, Reggie?
Anytime you're inside the 5-yard line, I say you go play action, force the defense to at least come up and look at the run a little bit, and maybe they lose one of your receivers on the motion there. But I have a feeling they're going to go straight drop back pass.
14th play of the drive. Sipnewski, the tight end, in motion. Johnson, the lone setback. Oaks, incomplete. Looking for Quinn Sipnewski. Aaron Sprague on the coverage. And that really had no chance.
No. You know, and you go straight drop back. The defense has a very short field to defend when you're inside the 5. I like play action because at least the linebackers have to look at the running back and say, is he getting the ball or not, before they drop back into coverage.
Jeremy Flores, the senior, Willard, Missouri. In for the 21-yard try. And it's good. So the long drive by Colorado to get down to where they had 3rd and goal at the 4. They can't convert, but they do get the 3 on the board from Flores. So the 10-point lead for the Buffs with 6:07 left until halftime. Gave you the Outflat Trivia question a moment ago. 5 conference titles in the last 7 years for Sonny Lubick. Which school has won more conference titles over that same span?
I guess Southwest Texas State.
And no good. Florida State. Of course, in the ACC, 7 titles, 7 years. And the Seminoles have only lost twice in the ACC during that time, to Virginia and to my alma mater, NC State.
Wow. Do I get partial credit for having the word state in my answer?
We'll think about it. Well, you're in Denver. You're in your hometown, your adopted hometown, so we might give it to you. 15 plays on that drive, taking it down 79 yards. Sonny Lubick's defensive line, especially, with some things to correct maybe at halftime, because that offensive line for Colorado has opened up big holes throughout the afternoon.
And that offensive line for Colorado, these are big guys. 3 of them are 320 pounds, and then 2 of them are 295 pounds. I mean, these are big, big players.
Rebstock and Wynn, Dexter Wynn, back deep at their own goal line. Waiting the kick from Pat Brome. Dexter Wynn from his own 3-yard line. The cutback, he's got a seam to the 27, maybe the 28. Had a good look momentarily, but it closed quickly. 25 yards on the return. Well, ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. New Nivea for Men aftershave balm. More Evolved skincare. Pepsi One, the first 1-calorie cola that tastes more like a regular. Pepsi One, this one's just right. And Aflac, without it, no insurance is complete. First down at the 28. DJ Bush looks back, throws, got a man. Complete, out in the flat. Close to a first down. They may have one. That's number 27, Dallas Davis, who we haven't talked a lot about so far. The senior out of Fort Collins, Colorado. Only 2 games last year. Had the back problems, the hamstring problems. Got a medical redshirt from the NCAA. The 3-year starter back for his last season.
And he led them in receiving in 1999. Back this year, and they expect big things of him.
Not only at the wideout spot, but also returning punts, too. He and Rebstock is dangerous a tandem as you're going to get. Bush hands it off. That play was not well executed from the get-go. Henry Childs the carry, but didn't get much.
That was the counter tray. You got those big offensive linemen, the tackle and the guard from the left side, drop back and start running over to the right side. And it's a train when they get going, but that one was derailed early.
Childs lost a yard, so it's 2nd and 11. Dreesen in motion. Bush, plenty of time, going up top, contact through the hands of Strickland. Should have been picked off. While we have a moment, let's go to Times Square Stadium in New York and an update on Michigan from John Saunders.
Well, Terry, as you know, no team out of the Mid-American Conference has ever gone into the Big House and won. Michigan trying to keep that going, but Ben Roethlisberger, 21 yards to Eddie Tillot's. They don't get the point after. Miami, Ohio on the board, only trailing 10-6. Terry.
All right, John, the cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio, testing Michigan at the Big House. 3rd and 11 with 5:02 until halftime. DJ Bush, the sophomore first-time starter over the middle. Pete Rebstock has it, maybe just short of a first down. We'll wait to see.
It appears that he is just short of that first down. I think a lot of people, a lot of times you say a receiver has to make sure he gets past the marker, but that depends. It depends on how close that marker is and how far out of your normal range you have to go to get it. If you go too deep out of your normal route, it throws off the timing. The quarterback's now throwing the ball into a dangerous situation. So I think it's more incumbent upon the coaches to try to call a play that will get you that amount of yards.
Well, doesn't matter right now. Had enough for the first down. I'll tell you what, the marker on the far sideline may have been off just a little bit because he was
off by a lot.
He had not made it by that account. So they'll move the chains. Sonny Lubbock's squad trying to get something going here before the half. Childs, the cutback, just tripped up. Falls ahead inside the 45. Donald Strickland got him by one shoe, or he may have been gone. Now don't forget, coming up, Valvoline halftime show. At half, John Saunders and Terry Bowden bringing you up to date on all the scores, highlights from college football today, and a preview of tonight's games here on ABC Sports. Valvoline halftime show. 4:10 from now. Swoboda, Brad Swoboda, the backup H-back or tight end, hobbling off. 2nd and 3. Bush on the roll. Got Dreesen wide open. Hangs on after he's hit at the 41-yard line. Jay-Sean Sykes hit him hard. 3rd catch of the afternoon for Dreesen, including a touchdown catch earlier.
Jay-Sean Sykes is so impressive. I mean, his speed to cover from sideline to sideline. The kid can just run, and this despite hurting his ankle early in the game and being out for a little while.
And we said earlier, they're now lining him up on the line a number of times, out on the edge, letting him put some pressure on the quarterback. A lot of linebackers don't like to do that, but he relishes that. He loves to do it. Childs, tough running. Ahead for 3 to the 37.
Most linebackers, Ja'Shawn Sykes is 230 pounds. Most guys, you say, hey, we want you to line up against a 320-pounder.
Yeah.
They're not excited about it.
Yeah.
But they say that Ja'Shawn loves it, loves getting down there and doing that.
6'3", 230-pounder from L.A. Numbers last year not as good as his numbers the previous season, and he will tell you that. Really wanted to come back strong, and this is last year. Pressure on Bush, gets it away, complete, but not going anywhere. Wrapped up right at the 40-yard line. Phil Jackson on the hit. He just crushed Joey Capari as soon as he got the ball. Pacific Life Game Summary coming your way right now. Let's take a look at what has happened in terms of total yards. Colorado with almost 160 total yards. But more importantly, maybe the 89-70 ratio, very close there.
Yeah, close to what they wanted. They wanted to be 50-50 run pass, and they're achieving that.
2:25 and counting here until half. 3rd and a long 9 coming up for the Rams. And movement on the right side. So they'll back them up.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
You know, when you're 315 pounds and you're down in a 3-point stance, it doesn't take much of a shift to shift that load back. And once it gets shifted,
You're not stopping it.
yeah.
You're going a long way back. 3rd and 14, and listen to the crowd here. Split about halfway down the middle. Colorado State fans, Colorado fans, and a sellout crowd. Straight drop for Bush. Plenty of time. Almost picked off twice. Roderick Sneed was there. Medford Moore, number 17, had it in his hands.
The biggest thing you have to worry about with a young quarterback is that he doesn't see safeties. Bush looks back here. He looks like he's looking at the safety, but he starts to throw this ball, just does not see the guy underneath. And that's usually when you get a pick, is when somebody's underneath and the quarterback just flat doesn't see him.
Phil Jackson almost had it too. Joey Huber on for the punt. Roman Hollowell back at his own 10-yard line, awaiting. Hasn't had a chance to return one yet. And he's not going to field this one. Look at the bounce. Inside the 2-yard line at the 44-yard punt, and Colorado is backed up deep.
Now, last week, Roman Hollowell made a mistake, fielded a punt at the 1-yard line. This time, if he's not going to catch it, I think he should lead the guys away from it. Instead of faking it right where the ball's going to go so they can recover it, lead them to one side or another away from where the ball's going.
And now critical for Colorado not to make a mistake. The mistake on the fake punt is what led to the Colorado State touchdown. Tough running ahead to about the 3 is Chris Brown, number 22. But with 1:28 and counting until the half, Gary Barnett just wants to get to the house with a 10-point lead.
Get to the house with a 10-point lead. I think for CSU, they're not going to be too disappointed to be down by 10 points given the way this game started and they rallied back a little bit. I think Lubick maybe should have called timeout after that last play because you could hold them 3 and out and still have a chance.
Down across the 5 up to the 7-yard line. Now you've got 54 seconds and time is called. Eric Pauley made the stop, so Sonny Lubick now calling that timeout.
All right, so they have 1 timeout left. And what do you think you do as CU? Do you just concede this point and say, you know what, we're going to run another play and punt the ball to you and see what you can do, or do you try to get the first down?
Well, I'm not sure that you can risk throwing at this point that deep in your own territory, but we'll see. What do you think?
It's a tough call. I mean, on the one hand, if you get another first down, you can run out the clock. Don't give them another shot at all. If you don't get obviously the danger of throwing a pass, it could get tipped, it could get picked off, it could, it could be incomplete. And now the ball right now is on the 6-yard line. If it's incomplete, you're punting from there. Your punter's got his foot on the back line. So maybe you just run the ball, try to give your punter a little bit more room and say, we're going to punt this away and see if our defense can hold them.
It's the old line. 3 things can happen when you throw the ball. 2 of them are bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to give DJ Bush some credit here in the first half. The way he started the game, throwing that interception for the touchdown on the first series as a starting quarterback. He's come back, kept his composure, kept them in the game. Bobby Purify, the tailback, he gets the toss over the left side, another big hole, and he's close to a first down. He's calling it, saying he's got it. Was tripped up and kind of fell ahead near that first down marker.
Or what you can do, you can pitch the ball to Bobby Purify, tell the offensive line to do what they've been doing, and go ahead and get the first down.
Must have some kind of deal with that offensive line. They've opened up some gaps.
They're getting paid under the table somehow.
Purify's been able to run at will so far in the first half and had that 18-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. So 30 seconds and counting now until halftime. Randy Drum, the fullback, getting a call.
Drum. He's the man, Brandon Drum.
It's at his 3rd carry.
3rd carry of the game. He's a superstar.
Bobby Purify, by the way, 7 carries for 65 yards here in the first half. And that's going to be it here in the first half in Denver. 17-7 your score at the half. Valvoline halftime show coming up right after this message and a word from our ABC station. Sonny Lubick, who has won 5 conference titles in the past 7 years. We told you that. 10-2 last year. Season opener for the Rams, needing a comeback in the second half, down by 10. Colorado to receive to get the second half underway. As the cannon goes off, in and through the end zone. They'll bring it back out to the 20. Roman Hollowell hasn't had much of a chance at all to return either punts or kicks today. And Colorado State has said, though, they'll kick to him. They're not going to kick away from him. Our Morgan Stanley well-connected storyline. The first half stats, the rushing yards, impressive for Colorado because that's what they wanted to establish, Reggie.
It is, and they did a good job of establishing the run. It's easier to do when you're ahead. I think it's interesting, CSU on the other side, they only have 43 yards rushing, but they're almost 50-50 rushing and passing. Despite being behind, they've stuck to their game plan.
The 1 turnover, that was huge. It loomed large early in the game. Interception return for a touchdown. Chris Brown, actually Bobby Purify gets the first carry of the second half. Straight ahead, good gain for Purify, who had 7 carries for 65 yards in the first half.
Purify has been impressive all day long. You know, and Colorado has all these running backs. You hear about Marcus Houston, who's unable to play today because of injuries. Cortland Johnson they worry about. And Purify comes in, looks like he's been the starter all along.
Gain of 7 on that last carry, so it brings up 2nd and a long 3. Purify with 72 yards now and more as he gets across the 30 to the 31. Should have another first down. Picked up a number of those in the first half. Had the 18-yard touchdown run in the first half to Purify.
He's really looked good all day. This drive could define the way the second half is going to go. If Colorado just comes out and marches it down the field nice and neat, maybe that's how they're going to dominate the game that way. Colorado State needs to stop them. First and 10 at the 32. Cormier in motion to the far sideline. On an
the eye. Purify gets the call again, wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage and falls straight ahead. The loss last week for Colorado was certainly important. How important is this game? How much pressure is there on Gary Barnett? We asked him that.
I don't know whether they understand how big a game this is. I think it's tough to make this game bigger than life as a coach, because I don't want to put themselves in that kind of position. Same time, we all understand that it's a huge game on our schedule, and it's a huge game in the state that we reside, and it's going to be a huge game for 12 months because everybody in this state is involved with this game on one side or the other, and we're going to hear about it if we win, and we're going to hear about it if we lose.
Fine line as you see Matt Brunson come in and catch the ball coming across, and a gain of about 3, but a fine line that he had to walk all week long. Gary Barnett, he wanted to make sure his troops got back up, wanted to make sure though that they understood how critical this game was, but not put too much pressure on him. To talk to him this week, I mean, there was a lot of pressure. There's no doubt about it.
There's been a lot of pressure on him, a lot of pressure on his team, and you just worry that in response to that pressure, guys will come out, try to make bigger plays than maybe they should be trying to make, press a little bit, and have mistakes, but they look like they've really been settled down and really been playing solid football today.
Brandon Drum with a catch over the middle on 3rd and 7, and that's short of a first down. Adam Wade stuck him as soon as he got the ball. I'd love for Brandon Drum to keep doing well, but you know, if he was going to elicit that kind of response, I'm not sure I want
it. It gets old pretty quick.
Dallas Davis back deep at his own 18. Mark Malascal kind of bobbled the snap for a moment, had plenty of time. This one's a great one too. Inside the 5, can they down it? It goes into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. 59-yard punt from Mark Mariscal, the junior from Tallahassee.
Yeah, they had the chance to put him down backed up.
While we have a moment, don't forget tonight, ABC wraps up its college football triple header. Got number 23 Wisconsin taking on number 7 Oregon. Autzen Stadium, one of the toughest places to play. No question about it.
You think Oregon could be in the running for ugliest uniforms?
You're jumping on the bandwagon now. Give them a break. Now they got a Heisman hopeful and Joey Harrington there. They're green uniforms. You know, what are you going to do?
Man.
Play action for Bush. Joel Dreesen, who punishes a defensive back as he crosses the 25 to the 26. 4th catch of the afternoon. Phil Jackson, the unfortunate soul who stuck his head in there.
Has good play action fake. I think a good part of the defense really bought on that. And then they get the pass outside to Dreesen. Of course, Sykes is there on the tackle as well, as he is on virtually every tackle, it seems.
They'll spot it at the 26 after a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Rebstock in motion. Henry Childs got to get the running game going, and Childs can't do it this time. Justin Bannon caught him from behind along with Sean Tufts, number 54.
Now, that was an odd offensive play. You have two kinds of plays. You have handoffs and you have pitches. Then you get the rare play that's kind of a combination between the two, where the back is aiming at a point that's so wide, the quarterback comes out from center and has to sprint to the sideline to try to get the ball to him. Just barely got there that time.
Davis wide to the near sideline. Joey Kapari to the far sideline on 3rd and a long 3. Quick drop, quick throw behind the receiver and caught at the 30. We'll see where they mark it now. See where they mark the forward progress, as Davis did a nice job of hauling that one in and holding on. Jayshon Sykes was all over DJ Bush.
This is a great job by Dallas Davis, but watch Sykes on this play as he comes in to try to put pressure on, not slowing down, gets blocked at the last. That's actually a very good block by the running back to save the hit.
Henry Childs doing more than just carrying the football this afternoon. 1st and 10. They give him the first down as Dreesen goes up to the line. Bush under center. Childs the carry, trying to get outside. Cuts back, Close to a first down again for Colorado State. And now that running game at 43 yards in the first half. Now the running game taking hold here in the second half. Right?
Pierce and Lancaster doing a good job up front opening the hole. And that's the exact same play they ran a couple of minutes ago, the wide handoff. They did something different. Instead of having Dreesen start in the backfield and then run up to make his block, ran him up to the tight end position. He's able to seal the corner. They get it outside.
Good balance there. 17 rushes, 20 passes on the afternoon. Gain of 12 on that last play. They move the chains. 1st and 10 at the 44. Straight ahead goes Childs. Maybe 2. Henry Childs, the transfer from Kansas. His dad, of course, started in the NFL. Redshirted last year after that transfer. Played 4 different positions at Kansas. Really wanted to run the ball, and they were thinking about moving him out to the wideout spot. He returned a lot of kicks and punts that first year, but he wanted to be a running back, and so he's getting the chance at Colorado State.
And
they'll blow it dead before the snap.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
First one this afternoon. Delay of game, at least.
I've always thought it ironic that to call delay of game, they stop the game and delay it a little bit more. You know, it seems like there should be some different penalty. Maybe the team gets fined after the game.
Instead of going ahead and making the game even longer.
Yeah.
Brings up 2nd and 13 now. DJ Bush, the sophomore from Santee, California. Play action, under pressure, throws, picked off. Lewis has got it. Coming back all the way to the end zone. Michael Lewis, the 2nd interception for a touchdown for Colorado this afternoon. Picks it off and brings it back.
Excessive
And just
celebration.
a bad decision by Bush here. He's in trouble.
15.
Trying to throw it from the opposite hash all the way across the field. Once you get out of your rhythm, you get in trouble. You don't have as much steam on the ball. That is a dangerous, dangerous throw. And a great play by Lewis to pick it off. And Bush knows it. He's thinking now.
The version of the Lambeau leap at the end, and there was a flag for excessive celebration again. Same thing that happened on that first touchdown.
Now, does that mean you're not allowed to jump after you score?
They threw, I'll tell you what, they threw the flag right away as soon as he jumped up. This from the 25, so 35 yards on the PAT. Up and good. The pick by Lewis, he read it perfectly as Bush, an ill-advised throw, and Lewis bringing it back all the way for the touchdown. 24-7, the Buffs on a roll right now. Bradley Van Pelt, the sophomore from Santa Barbara, California, warming up on the sideline after DJ Bush threw his 2nd interception, going back for touchdowns this afternoon. The first, a 31-yard return by Don Strickland, and the last one, 41 yards, Michael Lewis. So it's 24-7, Colorado with the lead here in the second half. Pete Rebstock from his own 3 to the 26. Marcus Harris, number 30, the initial hit. So what do you think? Sonny Lubick making the switch right now? Would you do it, Reggie?
I think that at this point, yes, you do. You know, now you've had a whole half. You've stuck with Bush, and he's played a pretty good half. But this last mistake was a decision mistake. You know, he shouldn't have thrown that ball. He's in a tough position. But, of course, he's a sophomore, and this is his first game, and it's tough. I think you bring Brad Van Pelt in, hope that he makes some plays, creates some excitement, maybe get something going on offense.
Van Pelt, whose dad, Brad, of course, started at Michigan State, then in the NFL. A linebacker, was one of the greats for the Spartans. First snap for him here. He's going to throw on first down. Throws back. Joey Kapari with the catch across the 30, sidestepping his way and fighting his way to the 36-yard line. Good gain. His 4th catch of the afternoon. He'll be about a yard shy of a first down.
And they don't waste any time. Right off the bat, Van Pelt throws a pass. Admitted it's a hitch play. And a good call, too. I like that hitch because that's exactly what CU had so much trouble with Fresno State last week.
Well, the two quarterbacks are very good friends. In fact, they room on the road together. And so there was no animosity whatsoever in camp, even with the spirited competition. Van Pelt gives it off to his tailback. Henry Childs ahead, should have a first down. Justin Bannon on the stop. They'll move the chains.
In some ways, the quarterback position is different than other positions. In other ways, it's not. Players compete for the job. They know that, say, a running back who has 2 fumbles in a game, he might get pulled out and another running back goes in. It's a bigger deal when it's a quarterback, but I think both these guys understand that, hey, we've got a good guy on the sideline no matter who's on the field, and sometimes the coach might have to go to him.
Gets more attention naturally than any other position, though.
Right.
So 1st and 10 at the 37. Play action, Van Pelt, he can run. Throws on the run. Incomplete, the intended receiver, Eric Hill. Corey Masoni, the outside linebacker, was chasing Van Pelt down.
From the player's perspective, even having Van Pelt in there on a play like that goes incomplete is still an exciting play. I think that can get the whole CSU sideline charged up, thinking, hey, we got something going here. And it's not that Van Pelt is better than Bush. They're just different players and different styles of play.
And they really did get the running game going on that last drive.
Sure did.
First downs, and we're moving the ball. Second and 10 now. But in the option to the near sideline, and Van Pelt can certainly do that. Up to the 40-yard line. Stays in bounds, wrapped up by Michael Lewis, who a moment ago had the interception. So just under 7 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Invesco Field at Mile High, first regular season game ever in this brand new $400 million stadium. Terry Gannon along with Reggie Rivers. It's been all Buffs to this point, 24-7. Colorado State trying to move the chains here, move the ball, and get something going in the 3rd quarter. Rebstock in motion. Van Pelt a straight drop. Over the middle, and that should have been picked off. Rebstock was the intended receiver. He had no chance to get to that ball.
Dangerous pass right there. Rebstock goes in motion and then is going to run about a 10-yard crossing route, it looks like. But this ball is well in front of him and over. And again, I think with young quarterbacks, they get focused in on their receiver. They don't necessarily see the defender who's coming in the position from a different place.
Is that one of the biggest adjustments when you make that switch and you make your first start, that you lock on to a receiver?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Huber's punt with Hollowell back, and he's not going to have a chance to field this one either, but it is not a very good punt. 29 yards. Start just outside the 30, will the Buffs. 24-7, Colorado. Oh, the Cub fan just woke up. I know it's September. The Cubbies are sliding. And what are they, still 4 games out? But
and despite rumors to the contrary, that kid is only 12 years old.
Here we go.
Not a day older.
Had enough of that this week, I think,
my goodness. What a scandal.
It's too bad. 6:15 left in the 3rd quarter, and Colorado starting to dominate this game. Chris Brown with the carry straight up the middle. Brown and Bobby Purify doing the damage this afternoon for Gary Barnett. An ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the 2002 Pontiac Bonneville, luxury with attitude. Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up, never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And the Olive Garden, when you're here, your family. Craig Oaks having a good day, but he hasn't had to really been a superstar today. Hasn't had a great day today because the ground game doing the damage. Quick throw, out, complete, short of a first down, knocked out of bounds at the 39 is John Minardi. 4th catch of the afternoon for Minardi. Solid, dependable wide receiver.
I like the approach that CU has taken in this game, just trying to keep things balanced. They do have a superstar in Craig Oakes. He is the kind of player who can carry you, who can make the big throws, but they're really committing themselves to establishing a ground game because long-term over the course of the season, that's what they have to have.
Absolutely, and in the Big 12 especially. You got to be able to establish that. Last week, they were down early and really couldn't use the ground game. Brown hitting outside. He's got room up the far sideline. Inside the 40-yard line is Chris Brown, a gain of 21. And it was your man, Reggie, Brandon Drum, who cleared the way.
Hey, Brandon, drum. But blocking is what he does. You know, Chris Brown, Bobby Purify, they're going to make it tough when Marcus Houston comes back from this the torn groin muscle that he has. And that was confirmed. All the controversy this week about the injury confirmed he had an MRI. It is a torn groin muscle. But what do you do if you're the coach? Do you put him back in as a starter, or do these guys have the spot?
It's a decision that Gary Barnett's going to have to make once he comes back. They're not sure when he is going to come back. Bobby Purify over the right side, down close to the 35-yard line, make it the 36. Adam Wade on the stop. 83 yards on the afternoon, and look at the average.
Man, very good day.
And Chris Brown's got 70 yards. Just like Gary Barnett would order it up.
Here's Marcus Houston on the sideline, been hampered by injuries last year and now starting off this year. But he will be a sensational player when he gets on the field. Grew up right here in Denver.
Number of players who grew up right here in Denver in this game. Purify cuts back inside the 30, finally brought down at the 26-yard line. And Reggie, right now, this big offensive line for Colorado starting to wear down the defense for Colorado State.
They absolutely are. They have been all day, and especially running over there behind Garrod, Rogers, and Graham on that right-hand side. Those three guys, all three of them could be in the NFL. There's some questions about Rogers because of the injuries that he's had, but they are just powering off the ball, creating big holes, and just making it impossible for CSU to stop anything.
Andre Gerard, number 65, 27 consecutive starts. Much more on the ground this afternoon for the Buffs.
Drum.
He lost the football. Colorado State has it at the 31. They just took it right away from it. Colorado able to grind it out, and now they've turned it over. Jason Gallimore, I believe the man who came up with it. He just took it right away from him.
Most of the time a fumble hits the ground. This one, he just took it right out of his hands. Drum has it, and he said, let's trade off here. I'll take that. And he goes off running in the other direction.
That's just a great play. Gallimore, the senior out of Wheat Ridge.
Taking candy from a baby. Drum's no baby.
1st and 10, 31, play action. Van Pelt getting out, got a good block. Throws on the run, dangerous throw. And incomplete right between two receivers. Rebstock was the closest man. Dallas Davis out there too, but after the previous throw to end the last series, I'm not sure that Bradley Van Pelt wants to be doing that.
No, and that was ill-advised from the start. Something happened with the handoff fake. He gets out of his rhythm, almost gets sacked getting around the corner, and then kind of threw it up in a dangerous situation.
Count on 2nd and 10. Give it to Childs, tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Joey Johnson tripped him up. Don't forget, tomorrow ABC Sports continues to bring you the excitement of the Indy Racing Series. Points leader Sam Ornish Jr. is there. Heads the field at the Delphi Automotive Indy 300 tomorrow, live at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, right here on ABC. 3rd and 10. And this is a dangerous spot if you're Van Pelt. Same situation he was almost picked off in on the last series. Plenty of time right now, though, and overthrows Rebstock by about 10 yards and behind him.
And when we talked to the coaches about the difference between these two quarterbacks is that really Van Pelt is not as good as a drop back passer. Get him on the run, he can throw great on the run. He's got great athleticism, can do a lot. DJ Bush is more of the drop back, sit in the pocket type passer, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that with the accuracy of Van Pelt today.
Joey Hubert back for his 6th punt of the afternoon. Last one was only 29 yards. Roman Hollowell wanting to return one. He hasn't gotten an opportunity. Better punt this time. Hollowell fields it and it just swarmed under at the 28 as soon as he catches the ball. Woods got him as soon as he caught it. Punt of 41, no return. High-tech gadget, the cooling system on the sideline. We saw some of the tubes on their back during the warm-ups, Reggie, and wondered exactly what that was.
The players are wearing these vests, and they have little tubes that come out of them so they can sit on the bench, get plugged in. I promise you, those aren't battery packs inside of them. They're just, just a cooling system to keep them cool.
The old water bottle doesn't work anymore, I guess.
I guess not.
Colorado 1st and 10 from their own 28. Nifty move by Bobby Purify into the open field. Flag is down as he crosses midfield to the 47. We'll check on the penalty marker.
Man, Bobby Purify just gets better and better.
They'll hold and they'll bring it back, but you can see the confidence too grow for Purify throughout the afternoon.
It's got to be tough for any of those backs when you're in a crowded backfield like CU has and going through camp with all those guys.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Now, he touched on it in the open, how important this game is for Gary Barnett. After the loss last week, the struggles last season, going 3-8, the Big 12 schedule looming. You know, all week long, I think he felt it and certainly was under some heat in the media, whatnot. But got to give him credit for having his team prepared to come out here. They played well early in this one, right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate, they make a big play.
This is 1st and 3, by the way, after the penalty from the spot of the foul.
2nd and 4.
Yeah.
You know what? 2nd and 4 doesn't sound like a bad down and distance until it was 1st and 3 first.
Craig Oaks, the big numbers last week, 31 of 50, 346 yards, but he had the 4 turnovers, including the critical play of the game, the interception in the end zone late, just over 3 minutes left, where they could have thrown it out of the end zone, kicked the field goal to take the lead. And mentally, Barnett really didn't know where he would be coming back. This is batted down. Adam Wade came on the blitz, the outside linebacker, and batted that ball down.
There's certainly been a lot of conversation about that last play in the Fresno game. You know, here Oaks says, you know, there's not a whole lot you can do when you're the quarterback. You try to throw the ball and you hope you get it through. Nice job by the defense there, Wade, blocking that one. But a lot of talk about that last play for Oaks last week, and, you know, criticism that, hey, Barnes is blaming the quarterback. But I can understand what Barnett is saying, that, hey, you know what, we called this play, he threw it into traffic, and it got picked up. What can we do?
In his defense, he described the play when asked about it, and really didn't go out of his way to blame Oaks, but that's how the play was certainly described. Brown busts out to the near sideline. Chris Brown finally run out of bounds at the 29. Brown, Purify, take your pick this afternoon. That's a gain of 36.
Wow. Good job of blocking up front again. They're running at the big hosses that we talked about earlier. And once he gets on the corner, one missed tackle, and there's nobody else left to make the tackle. He's off and running.
Jason Gallimore finally ran Chris Brown out of bounds. A gain of 36. Wayne Lucier, the center, with a critical block. To Springer. 1st and 10 at the 29. Purify, his chance now. The cutback. Look at the hole for Bobby Purify. Dragging defenders. He's got Gallimore all the way down to the 1-yard line. Not only the speed, but some of the power of Bobby Purify.
Bobby Purify is really making a statement here today with some of the runs that he's had. You know, we might say of some of the holes that he's had, oh, my grandmother could have run through that hole. But there have been plenty of plays that he's made today, like this one, where he is inventing, creative, powerful, and getting down the field.
So Eric Bieniemy, the running backs coach here, all-time leading rusher at Colorado, NFL star. First and goal from the 1. Brown gets the call, prances into the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado. And now it's official. They're dominating this one.
They are. And the CSU defense looks exhausted, worn out. You know, unfortunately, given the way this rivalry has shaped up the past few years, we're seeing in this game is kind of return to the way that it was. CU dominates. CSU just tries to hang on.
Minute 45 left in the third. Jeremy Flores on for the extra point. It's up and it is good. 31-7 the score. What a difference a week makes. Last week the frustrating loss to Fresno State. Gary Barnett talked to us earlier in the week about that, his approach, where they were after 1 week, and that heartbreaking loss.
We're going to be a real good football team, and I think they know that. They're just heartbroken, and you don't get over a heartbreak in a day or 2 days. And so I think the challenge for us is obviously that, and I've said this a number of times, we can't let Fresno State beat us twice.
And that's a good soundbite, but it's also very true, and he tried to make that clear to his players all week. You have to get over that now and move on.
And you take some of the positives from that despite having 5 turnovers last week, they were still in the game, still had a chance to win it at the end. So that points to they've got a lot of talented players and a good team. And here they're having a game where they've only had 1 turnover, and you can see the difference that it makes.
Colorado State not able to capitalize on the turnover. And the Buffaloes able to turn 2 interceptions into touchdowns this afternoon.
What a difference a week makes.
It's not that time already, is it? Rebstock win back deep. Pete Rebstock watching this one sail out of the end zone. Bring it back out to the 20. There's a penalty marker that an official now has picked up.
No, he just picked it up and moved it. He didn't like the spot it was in.
Down at the 40-yard line.
Officials like their flags to be at around the 40. They don't like it when it's at the 45.
I guess. Steve Juszczyk and his crew working this afternoon here in Denver on what's been a gorgeous afternoon. Labor Day weekend, great crowd, maybe the largest ever. Watch a college event, not only a football game, a college event of any type in the state of Colorado. Brand new stadium.
We have offsetting fouls, holding on a receiving team, offside on a kicking team, re-kick.
I tell you what, as a guy who has run down on a lot of kickoffs in my life, you hate to have to run down on 2 in a row. You know, we're like thoroughbred racehorses. You get out there, you can run 1, but then you got to rest for an hour, you know? You can't run 2 in a row.
Especially when you're a mile high.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's got to be a scary proposition every time you take off running down on one of those.
It is scary, but you know, you get used to it, and you get to the point that you realize those guys might be more scared than you are. You're the one who's got the full head of steam going down there. They got to kind of stand and try to block you and take the hit.
True enough. Must have been a thrill too, though, Reggie. We're in Denver here to play next door at the old Mile High, the great atmosphere that was there.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, to get a chance to play here and the kind of crowds and fans that you have here has been incredible.
You think it will be the same with the new stadium, the atmosphere?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. And in fact, they purposely built this stadium, made it out of concrete and steel, so it'd make the same kind of noise and reverberation as the old stadium.
The old stadium's still standing right next door, but they are going to take it down after the season, I guess in November at some point.
Yeah.
Rebstock, about the same place the first one went. He thought about it, went to a knee. So we did all that for the same result.
So Colorado State, obviously this game hasn't gone the way that they wanted to, but from the coach's perspective, they get a chance to look at both of their quarterbacks in action. They get to see what Bush can do, what Van Pelt can do. I imagine they'll probably leave Van Pelt in for the rest of the game and give them both a chance to just keep going and learn from this.
Van Pelt 1 out of 5 so far this afternoon. If you're Sonny Lubick right now, what do you say to him before he goes out there?
Don't screw up. No, I don't know. I think you say relax. I mean, just try to make plays. Let's see what you can do.
The option, back to Childs, turns the corner, cuts back. Brought down by Jay-Sean Sykes, but after a gain of about 9. But in terms of your quarterback at this point in the game, I mean, you're down 31-7. Time's running out in the third quarter. What you don't want to have happen, you don't want to see negative things take place on the field. You don't want confidence shaken. This is a first-time starter as well.
Exactly. You don't want him to go out and think that I've got to try to make up this deficit, this 24-point deficit. Tell him to go out and play your game. We're getting a chance to look at you. This is his first time in live action. It was Bush's first time in live action. They'll come out of this, and they'll both have had a chance to play in a game. And so now the coaches can really evaluate who should be the starting quarterback.
Eric Hill, the intended receiver, broken up by Roderick Sneed, but a penalty marker down. He may have gotten there just a tad bit early.
Pass interference, defense, spot foul, automatic first down.
So they'll move the chains. Timing a bit off for Roderick Sneed. This secondary, a much maligned secondary last year. In fact, in this game, they gave up the 4 big plays, which really cost them the ball game against Colorado State last year. So far, they have not given up that big play.
Yeah, last year I think Colorado had 500 yards of total offense against CSU. CSU had something like 9 yards of rushing, but they had 4 big pass plays that went for touchdowns, so they win the game 28-24.
Designed run, Van Pelt in the clear. Across midfield, Bradley Van Pelt to the 44-yard line. Nice call, nice run. Donald Strickland finally brought him down, but not after a gain, not before a gain of 22 yards for Van Pelt, who runs awfully well.
This is what Van Pelt brings to the table. He's a great scrambler. This is a designed run. He just tucks it away and starts running, shows that athleticism. They say he could play a lot of positions on the field. He wants to be a quarterback, and he is a good quarterback, but this is the strength of what he brings to the field.
It was one of the reasons he went to Colorado State. At Michigan State, they wanted to move him elsewhere, and Colorado State was willing to say, yeah, we want you as a quarterback. We're not going to move you to a linebacker spot. Someone may have jumped on the offensive line.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
It's one thing that Sonny Lubick doesn't put up with, the penalties. I mean, most coaches don't want to see them either, but this is a coach and a team that really does a good job of keeping penalties under wraps.
I think one of the things he told us was they were the least penalized team in the NCAA last year. That's all discipline.
Final seconds of the third quarter ticking off. Henry Childs cuts back but tripped up. Nice tackle by Donald Strickland, who got to Childs in a hurry. 31-7, Colorado up. Back for the fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station. Fourth quarter about to get underway here in Denver, Invesco Field at Mile High. Colorado rolling this afternoon 31-7 over Colorado State. 73rd meeting in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Bradley Van Pelt on a relief of DJ Bush wants to run it once again. An elusive quarterback as flags fly late. He gets down to the 37. Corey Masoni on the stop. Certainly getting an idea of how well Van Pelt runs the last 2 series.
And it's coming back with a holding, and you, as a coach, you really can't argue with a guy who can tuck it away and run for 10 yards. But it's hard when you're setting up your offense if he's going to be too quick.
Illegal block in the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty. From the spot of the foul, repeat second down.
If he's too quick to give up on the pass and then run the ball, that becomes its own sort of problem as well. And so I think what they're trying to get with Van Pelt is the balance of being patient enough to sit back there and run when you have to.
You don't want that to become his first option.
Right. Even though he's good at it. I mean, first option gets you 10 yards. That's not bad either.
Second and almost 15. Play action. Plenty of time for Van Pelt. Going up top, he's got Rebstock wide open. Pete Rebstock inside the 20, driven out of bounds, close to the 15-yard line. There was no one within 15 yards of Rebstock.
I think they must have been playing some kind of cover two, where he had the flat and he thought someone behind him was going to cover Rebstock. Well, nobody was coming over the top, and Rebstock is all alone. So it's hard to know whether the cornerback made the mistake, Porter, or whether it was the safety not coming over to be in position.
33 yards on the reception for Rebstock. So it's 1st and 10 at the 15. Dreesen in motion. Option to the near side. Van Pelt tucks it, turns up, and down to the 7. Don't forget, at the conclusion of today's game, select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund that comes up later in the game. Second, call it a long 2, maybe 3 here. 13:54 and counting left. Play action. Van Pelt can run, but he chooses to throw, and he underthrows his intended receiver, Eric Hill. He could have tucked it and run it that time.
Yeah, and I know Van Pelt what he's thinking. He's like, okay, I shouldn't run every time. I shouldn't run every time. I'm going to try to throw the ball, and I have an open guy. But it's just hard. I think that's why it's been such a struggle for the CSU coaches to decide between these two guys. DJ Bush, good at the drop back stuff. Van Pelt, he's just so good, so athletic running the ball, and he could have run it there, but decides to try to throw it and is not even close.
Hill frustrated because he was open. So it's 3rd and 2. Childs, the lone setback. Caught out of the backfield. Childs gets to the end zone. Henri Childs on the reception from Van Pelt. 7-yard touchdown catch by Henri Childs.
Van Pelt comes right back. I thought for sure he might drop back and try to run it, but he delivers this one right on target. That's kind of a nice softball. And Childs does a good job of getting it into the end zone. It's easy to see why the coaches have had a dilemma. You put Brad Van Pelt on the field, he's exciting. He's a playmaker. Even though he's not doing all exactly the way you want as a drop back, he just makes plays.
And Naughton on for the extra point. It's up and it is good. So 13:34 left in this one here in Denver. Colorado State with the score. Look at the numbers for Henri Childs, the transfer from Kansas, the touchdown catch just a moment ago. 7 yards to the end zone. And so Colorado State now trailing 31-14 with 13:34 left here in Denver.
Interesting, the difference between Bush and Van Pelt. It's almost, their styles are so different. It's almost like Sonny Lubick has to choose between which type of offense he wants to run when they're out there.
Jeff Babcock kicking it out of the end zone. Yeah, it's not just a choice between two quarterbacks, but you're right. They're so different. You've got to make a choice. And in a short period of time in camp, right before the season starts, what your whole philosophy offensively is going to be, because if you start Van Pelt, you know you're going to run the option some. You know you're going to let him drop back and run the quarterback draws, and that's going to be more of a threat than maybe your passing. And the drop back aspect of Bush, difficult camp, I'm sure, for the coaches. Bobby Purifine, the lone setback. The give to Purify, bounces away from one, still on his feet. Purify out to the 48-yard line. What an afternoon he has had. Woo!
Wow, Bobby Purify. And he has just gotten stronger and stronger and stronger as the game has gone on. Made more plays, more different types of plays, showed more versatility.
28 yards on the run. Got a good block from Victor Rogers, the big offensive tackle, to spring him initially, and then he did all the rest himself. So 1st and 10 at the 48. The running game, pretty impressive this afternoon for Colorado. They go to the air this time. Cormier, a nice grab to the far sideline, run out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Dexter Wynn ran him out there. 3rd catch of the afternoon for Cormier.
Now look at this graphic. The guys who are on the field right now for Colorado, 99.3% of their total offensive production from last year is still on the team. The guys who produced it are still on the field. So they should be better after a year. I mean, they weren't great offensively last year, but they're showing that they're a lot better this year.
More experience, no question. And now a second-year quarterback in Oaks. Brown to the 32. And they are just giving it right, giving it left, letting their tailbacks do the damage right now. So 12:53 left in this one here at Invesco Field at Mile High in Denver. Better than 75,000 now, the official tally. Terry Gannon along with Reggie Rivers, been all Colorado for the most part this afternoon. Colorado State with a touchdown a moment ago, but on the first series, the interception return for a touchdown by Donald Strickland. Got the Buffaloes on the board first. Brown wrapped up in the backfield this time. Going to lose one or two, and actually that's Cortland Johnson giving the other two guys a breather. Johnson, the senior out of St. Louis. Don't forget, more action tonight. Game 3 of our triple header here on ABC. Wisconsin taking on Oregon, the number 7 team in the country. It's live at 8 Eastern time.
And I take back what I said about Oregon's uniforms.
No,
they're just
you cannot.
Different. You know, they're just so unique.
Backpedaling going on. Stick to your guns, Reggie. Chris Brown trying to get outside, coming back to the near side now. Can't find any room, and at least he hangs onto the football. Almost lost it for a moment, but he'll lose a couple of yards. And right now, while we have this moment, let's go to Times Square Stadium in New York. Check in with John Saunders.
And the Coors Light update. Clemson facing Central Florida. Aaron Hunt ready to kick a field goal. The holder, Jeff Scott, says no. That's a fake kick, and he takes it in for the touchdown. 21-7 at that point. 21-13 was the final. There.
Thanks, John. The Tigers tested this afternoon. Getting the win, though.
It's interesting when he reversed field on that last play. Oaks came up to block one of the defensive linemen. I know on the sideline, Barnett is thinking, don't do it. Whatever you're thinking, don't do it.
Took a lot of hits last week and didn't slide at all. Just hits near the sideline. Timeout, Colorado. Back in a moment. 371 total yards this afternoon for Colorado. Getting it done on the ground, too. 283. Craig Oaks, by the way, is 14 out of 17 today, but it's all been short possession-type routes. 88 yards overall. His longest pass this afternoon for 11 yards. This time over the middle to Chris Brown with the catch, so he's 15 out of 18. Now ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. Morgan Stanley, formerly Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected. Original Coors. Nothing beats an original. And Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Not enough.
Never enough. Jeremy Flores on now for a try from 41 yards. Plenty of leg and straight through the uprights. Flores, there was an eligibility question earlier in the week. They were not sure whether or not they would get him back, but they worked that out, and he's had a good afternoon.
and apparently not an eligibility problem like he's a guy barely hovering above the minimum GPA. It was an English class that he needed to take, a Shakespeare literature class, and he didn't get it all done during the summer, and so he had one paper to turn in, didn't get it turned in on time last week.
Craig Oaks working on his shoulder on the sideline, and you remember Reggie talked about that play where he tried to make a block. Perhaps that's where it took place.
You know, early, here he is coming in. He's like, oh, I'll get in there and make this block. And he does. The good news is that the shoulder they're looking at now is his left shoulder. So probably he didn't get hurt on that play, but something has happened, and they're looking at his shoulder right now.
15 out of 18. So the running game dominating this afternoon, and the short passing game doing the same thing as Bobby Pesavento, the senior from Indiana, warms up on the sideline. 34-14 your score here in the fourth. Rep stock. Frustrating afternoon, especially trying to return some of these. Every kickoff has been deep into the end zone. Don't forget, if time permits, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. Scores and highlights from across the country. John Saunders, Terry Bowden in New York.
I think CU has accomplished everything that they set out to accomplish today, with the exception of the fake punt that was ill-advised early in the game. But otherwise, they've been extremely solid defensively. They established the running game they said they needed to establish, and they have just dominated this game in every aspect.
Bradley Van Pelt back out running the show for Sonny Lubbock's club. Straight drop. Over the middle, picked off. Michael Lewis' second interception of the afternoon. Lewis, the senior out of Richmond, Texas.
Brad Van Pelt makes a bad decision here. You can see why the coaches like him so much. The athleticism, the movement. The ball is actually on target, but it's just thrown into too much coverage. It's a mistake he probably won't make when he gets older, but right now he's just too rough and too willing to take a chance.
Lewis with his second pick, the leading tackler a year ago for Colorado. Jayshon Sykes applied the pressure, flushing Van Pelt out of the pocket. May have never seen him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He probably didn't ever see him. And for CSU, the problem is they have two quarterbacks. They're both very good quarterbacks. Neither one has any experience. And so all the things that a young quarterback is going to be subject to as far as experience, they're both going to be hit by that.
Good news for Colorado. Bobby Purify had the carry on that last series. He came out, and they were working on him on the sideline. Really having trouble breathing, just very winded. And so now he's back into the game. A number of players last week in that game against Fresno State had cramps. They were dehydrated. As Bobby Pesavento comes in for Craig Oaks right now at quarterback. But it's still very hot near the Denver area this time of the year. Purify tripped up near the 20. Doug Heel, the outside linebacker, got the start this afternoon. Number 44 got him there.
You know, even though Purify, I mean, he was on the sideline having trouble breathing a little bit earlier. Even though he's okay now, I'd say get him off the field. As well as he's run, as much as you might need him next week, why not put, well, there they go. Put somebody else in for him.
174 yards on the afternoon. Nearly 10 yards a carry. And there's Oaks. Gingerly putting his pads back in place on the sideline. Chris Brown bounces off a 1. Inside the 20 to the 19, near a first down. Yeah, they're going to take the pads off of Craig Oaks and check him out here.
Well, see, this is my trapezius muscle. I've been working on it for a long time.
Chance to show off the guns, I guess, on TV, yeah. But that's not the opportunity he wanted.
It looks like it's probably just a bruise right out there on his deltoid muscle on the outside of his shoulder. You know, you kind of worry when a guy is working his shoulder like that. It could be a separated shoulder, something like that. It doesn't appear to be that.
Fourth and a long 1 coming up. So Brown was not able to get the first down. 4th and 1 here. Pesavento Brown on the right side has it this time. And they'll move the chains. 8:29 left in the 73rd meeting between the Rams and the Buffaloes.
Well, a lot of questions answered for CU today. A lot of questions asked of CSU today, and how they're going to settle this quarterback situation, because there's no substitute for experience, and the only way they're going to get experience is be on the field playing.
Look at the numbers on Pezzavento last year. Portland Johnson bouncing outside, inside, back outside. Touchdown, Colorado. Flag is down out at the 15-yard line. And they're going to bring it back. The hold against the Buffaloes, they're bringing this one back.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot on the foul. Repeat first down.
They played the fight song for nothing.
I think that might have been Andre Garrod on the hold, it looked like, and we'll forgive him for that, given the way that this offensive line has opened up holes all day.
Gerard, the 6'4", 320-pound senior from Houston.
And if he wants to hold, who am I to tell him no?
Purify wrapped up as soon as he gets the ball. Doug Heald quickly into the backfield. Heald and Adam Wade splitting time at that outside linebacker position, strong side linebacker, and either one really Sonny Lupic has a lot of confidence in. Wade still coming back off the injury, had the knee injury, only played 3 games last year, so he's still trying to work his way physically back into playing shape. As Benno gives to Purify to the 20. Tony Calicione, the senior out of Yorba Linda, California, on the stop. And as we talk about Sonny Lupic and the job he has done, it's one of the things that has allowed him, his success has allowed him to go outside of this area. We talk about Gary Barnett trying to concentrate on Colorado now, his strategy coming in. But Sonny Lupic is able to get the kids from California, and maybe before the last 7-8 years, they would not have been aware of Colorado State or the success.
Sure, you walk into a kid's house who's living in San Diego, and you say, we want you to come to Colorado State, and they say, who? But now Colorado State, a lot of winning records. They've been in bowl games. They've got championships. It makes recruiting a lot easier.
On 3rd and 11, Bobby Purify steps out of bounds at the 7-yard line and gets the first down. It'll be 1st and goal from there.
Again, up front, Wayne Lucier and Andre Garrod, just powerhouse. You know, here's the guy who has really carried this team, and at the end of the play, it looks like he almost gets his legs taken out. At this point, if you have anybody else to put in there, I say you take him out, because you're going to need Purify next week. But they might not have anybody else other than Chris Brown to play in there.
191 yards on 21 carries for Purify, and getting a breather now. Brown straight up the middle, loses the football, but he's already down. They whistled him down.
Of course, Portland Johnson was in there just a couple of minutes ago. At this point, I would get Purify off the field if I was the coach.
Got to remember, too, though, that Chris Brown was the starting tailback.
Right.
You take your choice. Purify's had the great day today, but he's not necessarily the #1 running back.
He might not be, but I say performance speaks. And the way that he's played today, I think he deserves to be the starting tailback next week.
Purify, Brown, Johnson, and of course Marcus Houston coming back at some point. 2nd and goal. Brown, not this time. Just inside the 3.
It is beat 'em up ball. every quarter. Look at what Colorado has done throughout this. I mean, they've just been solid and consistent from the first quarter through now in the fourth quarter. It looks like the fourth quarter could end up being their most productive quarter.
Chris Brown, 19 carries, 118 yards. If you add that to the total for Purify, that's a heck of an afternoon. Here goes Brown again. Down to the goal line. He's not going to get in, though. Adam Wade made a nice tackle. Listen to the crowd. Any question as to what they want to do on 4th and goal?
I think they're saying go.
Yeah. Gary Barnett sends Bobby Pezzavento back under center on 4th and goal. Brown on the right side gets there, touchdown.
Whenever they need a big play, CU always goes to that right side. Garrod, Rogers, Graham, and just power it in.
You like that? Going for it on 4th down, 4th and goal? With the score the way it is?
At this point, I think you do. Because you could kick a field goal. I mean, there's no way to get around that. The implication, people are going to say, oh, you're trying to run up the score. I say you go for it.
And they've been running the ball throughout this entire quarter, not throwing it. Extra point up and good for Jeremy Flores, who has been very good this afternoon, too. The Buffalo celebrating. 41-14 your score with 4:33 left. Colorado State, Colorado, Rocky Mountain Showdown. Dexter Wynn able to return this one. First time in a while that they have been able to return a kick. Cutting back, still on his feet, loses a few yards at the end, and all of that just to get back to the 21-yard line. Maury Alexander makes the tackle. Pacific Life game summary coming your way right now. You look at last year what Colorado did and how they ranked. I mean, the numbers, Gary Barnett doesn't want to look at this. 82nd in offense rushing, 77 scoring, 104th, 99. Not what he wanted, but today, very impressive. Over on the right side, 321 yards of rushing offense alone.
416 yards of scoring offense, 144 passing, and 257 total defense. A very, very good job for CU, and this is what they'd like to see all year long.
Bush back in at quarterback and almost throws the interception. DJ Bush, it was tipped. Joey Johnson, number 43, got a hand on it. So Bradley Van Pelt was in relief of Bush, and now DJ comes back in.
And I would imagine that DJ Bush is going to be the starting quarterback. It's going to be hard to keep Bradley Van Pelt off the field, though, because he is so dynamic and he can make plays. But as far as predictability, stability on the offense, I think they have to have Bush as the starter.
Dwayne Ruff, senior out of Denver, Mullen High School right here in Denver, now in at tailback. Down goes Bush, throws it away before he gets sacked, and guess who? Jayshon Sykes.
Jayshon Sykes, he lined up with his hand down on the line.
Guess
he
what?
loves to do it.
They throw the penalty flag because of what you just saw, the celebration by Sykes.
You can't stomp your feet.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, dead ball foul, unnecessary celebration, 15-yard penalty.
Now, I think the NCAA has gone a little bit overboard with the celebration thing, but the reason that they do it is because when they started this 3 or 4 years ago, when they stop it, nip it in the bud, when a guy celebrates, they don't get the brawls, the bench carrying brawls. They haven't had one in 4 or 5 years, and so they think if they keep a tight rein on the taunting, then they won't have the problem. But I think a guy's got to be able to stomp his feet every now and again if he gets a sack.
Well, the key when you talk to officials is whether or not someone calls attention to himself. And Sykes, after the sack with the exaggerated foot stomp, I guess they deem that excessive. And that's the 3rd time this afternoon he's descended. First down, Bush to throw. Time over the middle through the hands of Joel Dreesen, and What's going on with the Dukies, John Saunders?
All right, Terry, you're an ACC guy, so I know you have your eye on this one. Florida State sleeping on defense here. Dee Bryant back to pass, finds Chris Douglas, and watch him pull away from the secondary of the Seminoles. Takes it 78 yards for the touchdown. They missed the point after. Duke up 6-0.
John, take a snapshot of that. That just doesn't happen. Of course, Florida State, I said earlier, has lost only twice throughout their years in the ACC. To Virginia and NC State, down to Duke early here. Dwayne Ruff out of the backfield. Bush throwing a little bit wide that time.
Do you think the officials might throw a flag on you for calling attention to yourself with that sequined outfit you're wearing?
Well, I put the jacket on over it. I thought it was okay. It's very subdued.
It is very muted, but I can still see the sparkle.
Got a whole season ahead with this guy, folks. Can you believe it? Lot of abuse straight ahead. 3rd and 10 with just under 4 minutes left. Bush over the middle. Nice catch, Eric Hill.
And
sophomore out of Denver.
Hard.
He did. He got hit. Sykes again in the backfield.
Nice Bush. He delivers this ball. Very accurate pass over the middle, man, but he gets walloped at the end of this play. Caught him right in the chin. That'll make you lay down and say, "Mommy."
So it's up at the 48-yard line of the Rams now. And again, 3:36 and counting. You're realistic. You're not going to come back in this one, as this goes right through the hands of Chris Pittman. They throw to him for the first time this afternoon. But if you're DJ Bush, trying to get some positive experience out of this game, and you want to leave this game with some type of confidence. That was there early, settled down after the first interception.
He sure did. He did a good job of coming back. And you know, the good news for Sonny Lubick is he got to see DJ Bush and Brad Van Pelt in action, get them some experience. You know, the irony of this score is 41-14. You say, well, this is a blowout. This doesn't help the rivalry. You look at two.
Oh, and down goes Bush.
Man.
Michael Lewis had a clean shot at him. If he gets up from this one, he's a tough customer.
Good job of holding on to the football right there, too. Man.
Safety blitz, and Lewis just pounded DJ Bush.
Listen to this in real speed. Man. Whoa, man.
Well, even the guys in the truck are cringing at this point.
Who wants to get hit in the back like that?
Jack Graham, our producer today. Norm Samet, our director extraordinaire. Over the middle, caught at the 45 by Eric Hill. Second catch of the afternoon. Same route. He's still going to be about 3 yards shy of a first down. Medford Moore on the coverage.
Well, I think at this stage in the game, you do go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
What if they did bring out the punt team?
4th and a long 2, they're going to call it. Short drop. There goes Bush. He's got the first down. Design play, one that you may see Bradley Van Pelt run throughout the season, but Bush able to pick up the first down on it this time.
I started to say a minute ago, the irony of this score, 41-14, you think, well, how can you have a rivalry when one team blows out the other one like that? You look at 2 out of the past 3 years, that's basically been the score. CSU beat CU 41-14, then CU came back and beat CSU 42-14. Now it turns back around to CU.
Now, last year was a 4-point game, though. Trying to do pressure. Bush gets it out to Ruff out of the backfield. He's close to a first down, maybe just a yard short of that. Heck of a game last year. It went down to the wire, and the big plays by Colorado State made the difference. 321 yards on the ground for Colorado.
Man, that is gaudy.
They had 66 rushing yards last week against Fresno State.
Timeout.
Yeah.
1:29 left, and Sonny Lubick wants to talk it over with his quarterback. Back to game in a moment. Score by quarters, the 14 first quarter points critical for Colorado this afternoon, because traditionally they have started slowly, come on strong, but today they started right out of the gate. Jay-Sean Sykes, number 7, going to get there first. Not going to celebrate this time very much.
No.
This is a moment ago on the Colorado sideline.
This got to be the worst part of being a coach.
You take it well when it's a W. It's got to feel awfully good after the week that Gary Barnett has had. This one complete out to Rebstock, and that's short of a first down.
I mean, it's been a tough week for the criticism that they lost to Fresno State. The criticism that he blamed his Oaks, the quarterback, for that last play. The criticism about Marcus Houston and his groin injury. I mean, it has been a tough week for Gary Barnett, and I think he needed a win like this, a decisive win like this, to kind of clear the air.
By the way, that last timeout was taken by Colorado. This one taken by Colorado State. Might be a cold shower on the sideline, but feels just fine right now.
Yeah.
Barnett. While we have a moment, today's Chevrolet players of the game. Henry Child, Colorado State. Bobby Purify of Colorado. Purify with 191 yards, including the 18-yard touchdown run early this afternoon. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. Childs with 82 yards on the day and a touchdown catch, 7 yards earlier in this quarter. And Purify, the offensive line doing their job for Bobby Purify throughout the afternoon, but he had some terrific runs after the initial spurt.
And CU discovered they have in Purify a really big-time back. The way he was running, this doesn't look like an aberration. This just looks like the kind of skills that he has, and he can do this week in and week out. And for CSU, they needed to find out if Childs could play. They didn't know he played as a freshman at Kansas State, but they haven't seen him play in 2 years, and so they got that question answered as well.
Unknown quantity coming into the game. You're right, very much. 4th and 1. Bush throws up top. Rebstock down there, but it's picked off. Intercepted in the end zone. Roderick Sneed on the coverage and the pick.
And that's one where Bush didn't make a good throw up there, but I think Pete Rebstock could have helped him out a little bit more. Might have had a chance to break up that pass. But it's all a moot point at this point.
Sweet victory for Colorado. All the pressure that you just talked about, in danger of going 0-2 for the second straight year. They hadn't done that since the late 70s, since 79. And also they were in danger of losing to Colorado State for the 3rd straight year. That hadn't happened since the early 30s. But the Buffaloes with an impressive win this afternoon here in Denver, 41-14. Going to be your final score. Gary Barnett in his 3rd year, quieting some of the critics. And he had a lot of them earlier this week.
He sure did, and they needed a game like this to answer that criticism. Sonny Lubick will be going back up to Fort Collins and rethinking everything, evaluating his players, finding out what good things they took from this and what they need to learn from. There is Oaks. We hope that his shoulder is not too badly injured. He'll be able to play next week.
That'd be the one negative to come out of this game if he were badly injured. Didn't look like it, though. Looked like he was just banged up a little bit. They put the ice on. So Barnett gets the win here in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Oaks going to travel over to the other sideline. Plenty of friends on these teams. Guys who went to high school together, grew up together, played in Pop Warner football together. Sonny Lubick starting the year 0-1. Colorado now even up at 1-1. 41-14. And maybe more impressive than anything else, the fact that Colorado found its ground game here.
They found their ground game, and hopefully they can take it to San Jose State with them for next week's game.
And of course, the Big 12 season begins. 41-14, your final for Reggie Rivers. I'm Terry Gannon. Hope you enjoyed this one. Right now, we go to Times Square Stadium and join John Saunders.